Alright guys, welcome to the 5th edition of the home workout series. Today's going to be a run based session, or like the previous run based session, it could be also a hike with your family. And the idea is that we're going to try and have two distances so we can scale it up and down. And those distances will be sort of 7k and 10k roughly in total distance. The start and finish location of this run is Gore Hill Oval, which is next to the Royal North Shore Hospital. There's lots of free parking around the vicinity, or if you live nearby, you could just run here to start the run. The run's going to start by heading up Pacific Highway, so we're heading towards Chatswood up the Pacific Highway, and once we get to the Gore Hill TAFE, we will cross the road and then drop down into the bush sections, and then we're going to try and run as much of this run on trail sections around the harbour foreshore. So let's get amongst it. So once you've run up Pacific Highway, you've reached the TAFE, and there's a basketball, there's a set of traffic lights. We'll cross over the lights, we'll keep running down Pacific Highway. Once you go past Inners Road, you will come to a spot called Ronald Park, which, if you've done any runs with me in this area, you'll know it is affectionately known as Mount Vomit. And from there, all we're going to do is run all the way down to the bottom of Ronald Park, and we'll enter the bush. Once we get to the bottom of Ronald Park, all we're going to do is come out, we'll cross the road, and straight across the park you will see the entrance to the bush track, which is labelled as the Lane Cove Bushland Park. So from here we're going to drop down into the bush trail, and at the bottom there'll be a little crossing of your left and right. We'll go left, but I'll show you that when we get there. So the first crossroads you'll come to when you've dropped down from the street is a fork where you can go right or left, right going up the hill, left going down. You'll see it's number 6 Lane Cove Bushland Park, heading towards River Road. We're going to go down this, and at the bottom of this trail you're also going to see another fork where we'll go left, running over a little stream, and then continue on the path until we hit River Road. So you see, at this stage you can either go straight up or take a left. We're going to go straight up left, and you'll see the sign says to Inners Road or to River Road. And then we're going to stay on this all the way straight till we hit River Road. Once you've come out of the bush track by River Road, we take a right turn along River Road, and sort of 100 meters to the right you'll see there's a refuge island where you can cross the road safely, and then we're going to cross the road and disappear into the bush track down that way. Let's get amongst it. So once you've crossed the road and you've come back through the bush track on the other side, about 150-200 meters down, you'll come to the first point of interest, which is the Lily Pilly waterfall. So it is signposted. You take a hard left from the bush track, and if we just come quickly down. Now if you come down here after a decent rain, this waterfall is quite impressive, but we'll see how it looks today. So still a pretty place to come, especially if you're hiking with a family. Show them around. It's a nice gorge that runs down. So from here we're going to go back up the stairs. We're going to make a left. We're going to stay on the same track all the way until we hit the football fields at the bottom, Gore Hill Park, and then I'll show you the path from there on in. So once we have come out of the bush track, gone through the football field, you'll come to a car park. It's called the Bob Campbell Oval, and we're going to cross this little bridge and then take a hard right turn after the bridge, and you'll come onto the next set of bush tracks. And from here, the path's pretty good. It gets a bit rocky at times, but it's going to be a single track that's going to go up and down over some of the little hills there. You'll drop down towards the water's edge, and you've got a nice steep climb that's going to come up to the bottom of a cul-de-sac, and then a really nice little steep section to run or hike up before we get back onto the roads. So, for those of you who are running, you'll love that little bit of a hill at the end. So once we get to the top of that cul-de-sac, you'll find yourself on a nice long straight road. We're going all the way to the end of the road. We hang a first right, a first left, and then that's going to take us out to the main road that runs down to Greenwich. So once we get to the end of Evelyn Street, we're back on the main road that runs up from Greenwich and goes all the way to the Pacific Highway and back to Gore Hill over where we started. So if you are had enough by this stage, whether it's because you've got kids hiking and their legs are sore, or you're new to running and you've had thought that's enough, you make a left turn, you just keep going straight. You'll get to a set of traffic lights where River Road crosses this road. You go all the way up the hill and you'll find yourself on Pacific Highway opposite the oval that we started. At this point I'm at 3.5k, so if you head straight up by the top, you'll probably be 5k at the finish. But for everyone else, what we want to do is once we reach Evelyn Street, we're going to go right and we're going to shoot down and do a lap of Greenwich Point. So we've run down the Greenwich Road, and when we get to where the old Shell refineries are, we'll find ourselves at Shell Park. And from here we've got lovely bush trails. We're going to follow the harbour foreshore all the way around to Greenwich Baths and then Greenwich Point. I'll stop it again when we get to the end of this bush track. So once you get to the end of that bush track, we're back on the road. We're going to follow the road around to the right. You'll see there's the Greenwich Ferry Wharf Terminal. And what we do is we follow it around, the road around from the right, and then it's going to start to make a left turn. A left turn up a hill. At the top of the hill, you'll make a right turn, and that's going to come to a set of footpaths, which will drop down by Greenwich Baths. And then from there, we'll make a right turn again when we get back onto the road. So, you can see how the road goes around to the left. We follow it up, right, and then onto the footpath. So once we stayed on the footpath, we come to the corner of Albert and O'Connell Street. We're going to be running straight along O'Connell. Just after that boat, before the corner, you'll see a driveway that'll drop down towards the sailing club. We run through the car park, over the rope chain at the end, all the way to the point, and there's a bush track that takes you up the hill. So once you run past the sailing club, past the rope chain, through a bit of grass, you come onto this bush track that's going to run up to Greenwich Point,
Now there are a few deviation tracks to the right, which we're not going to take. So you're just going to stay on the main track and never take a right turn. It will come out to a beautiful viewing platform at the top. So once you get to the top of this viewing platform, you'll find yourself on a cul-de-sac. We're going to go straight down the cul-de-sac. You'll make a first right turn, and that's a cul-de-sac. And at the end of that, there'll be a bridge, a little footbridge, pedestrians only. You run down the footbridge, which will come onto another road, which will run straight on, then make a right turn and a right turn, and you're back on Greenwich Point Road, the main road that runs from St Leonards down to Greenwich. So you cross the footbridge, you follow the road around to the right, you made another right turn onto Greenwich Road. You would have run past where we dropped into that bush trail and started running up Greenwich Road towards St Leonards. So this is where we're going to split the groups again. If you had enough by this stage, whether you've hiked it or ran it, I've been running for 42 minutes at this stage, you just continue straight along Greenwich Road, and just like with the first group, you'll follow it all the way up to the first set of traffic lights, which will be River Road. You cross over and go straight up the hill, you come to Pacific Highway, and then that's the park where we started. However, for the more advanced guys, whether you want more distance in your legs or you're hiking the Coast Trek Challenge or one of these things, you want some more distance and more time, when we get to Chisholm Road, which is just at the end of the Shell Refinery, we're going to make a right turn. We're going to run up here, the road bends to the left, we'll follow it around and it goes up a hill. There'll be a right turn that comes down a hill, we'll make a left, and then we'll continue on that road until we hit the bush track. So I'll stop it when we get to the bush track, just follow the video to see the direction. So from where I left you last time, we followed the road around, we took a right turn down the hill, then a left, then we stayed on the road. We never took any of the left variations, we just stayed straight on the road, and it will follow you around to a cul-de-sac, and you'll see that there is a pedestrian bridge going over a gully, which is then leading into bush tracks. Now what we're going to do is cross over this pedestrian bridge. We're going to go right once we get over the pedestrian bridge and follow the hill up around to the left. You want to take the left footpath, so we're running straight up the hill and straight up towards the train station. I'll stop the camera next time when we're at the train station and give you the next directions. So we followed the hill up to the left, staying on the footpath. We kept the train tracks to our left. We ran past Wollstencraft train station. Then we come out of the train station, we cross the road. We're going over the bridge over the train station. We're going to keep going straight along this road and we're going to make our first right turn. So after the train station, we took a right turn onto Belmont Ave, follow the road around, and then we take a right turn on Bridge End, which will another bridge over the train tracks. You'll also start to see footpath signs for Berry Island, and we're going to take the Berry Island trail through the bush. When you get to the end of this cul-de-sac, you will see that there's sort of an orangey coloured building with stairs that run down to the right of it. Kind of looks like we're going to someone's property, but it's not. Those are public stairs, and you shoot down there, which would then come onto the track. So, tell a lie, it's a white coloured building, but orange stairs. So we're going to go down these stairs. At the bottom, we'll hit the bush track, and then we're going to go straight along the bush track. When we get to the first fork of the bush track, I will stop the camera and talk about the next directions. So when you come to the end of the trail, you will see that there is a path that says left to Ball's Head or right to Berry Island. We're going to take the first right, and then you'll come to another section sort of 30 meters away where we'll take our first left. So when we get to the next section, it'll say right to Tryon Avenue. We take the left turn onto this bush track, and this will take us all the way to the road of Berry Island. Now, when I first entered that trail, you might not be able to see it on the fast footage of the GoPro, but there was a little sort of caution, no entry bit of signage, bit of tape, if you will. I have done that run many times. They sometimes tape it off with a caution warning that after heavy rains there can be sewer overflow. We have run this route 1,000 times in heavy rain. We've never seen it. So what I suggest is you just run through the tape, just lift it up, go underneath it, it'll be no problem. You know, it's just the nanny state trying to put us in our cage. However, if you don't want to do that, then you just turn around and follow the route back towards the start. But from here we get this beautiful bush track that goes for probably the next 2 kilometers. We're going to get to the Berry Island Road. I'll stop it there, we cross over, we go through another bush section that's going to take us almost all the way home. So let's do it. Once we get to the end of the bush track, we'll come out to Shirley Road. What we do is we cross the road. To the left, if you look down the hill, is Berry Island. But if we just cross the road and then head left, sort of 30-40 meters from the last bush track, you'll see the next one. Which is called the Gore Creek Track. And then from here, it is just a straight track all the way to River Road. We're going to go underneath that pedestrian bridge that we went across. So it's just a straight track. It meanders around a few places. There is one section where you get to the bottom of the hill and you can go right or left. I'll stop the camera then, but basically it's just stay straight. The ground is pretty good on this track, but do watch your feet because there are some gotchas. So about halfway along that path, you'll have descended down a quite steep rocky section, and when we get to the bottom of the path, you can see we can either make a left turn or a right turn. We're going to make a right turn, and then we're going to stay on this track. There'll be the creek always to the left side. About 200 meters up, we'll cross the creek. The track will get much better. There'll be boardwalks and everything else. We stay on that track now, keeping the creek to our right side all the way until we come underneath the pedestrian bridge that we ran across about 20 minutes ago, and stay on the trail until we get to the end of the track and the start of the roads again. So we've come out of the bush track. When we reach the road, we make a left turn, and in the distance you can see that that's River Road. We're going to cross River Road, we're gonna go straight up the hill. It's called Canberra Ave. Once we reach Pacific Highway, we'll make a left turn and we'll follow that along until you can see Gore Hill Oval where we started, and that's the end of the run. Unfortunately, with no more GoPro, I can't film the run, but it is just straight over River Road, up the hill, left, and you're there. And I'll make the last video at the top talking about where we've gone. So when we reach the top of Canberra Ave, you'll see we're back by the train tracks to our right, St Leonards train station, Pacific Highway straight in front. We make a left turn. We make a left turn at Pacific Highway, and Gore Hill Oval is the next set of lights. Okay guys, there you have it. We're back at Gore Hill Oval. What a great run. Whether you were Group 1, Group 2 or Group 3, you've all experienced beautiful sort of rainforest trail run, very minimal sections of road running. The majority of it is off-road through the parks. Distance wise, if you've done the entire thing, it's about 12.5k. For the second group that ran around Greenwich Point and then came straight up River Road, you're probably about 8.5 to 9. And the first group, you're probably more like 5 to 6 kilometers. So it's a run or a hike that anyone can do. You just scale it up or down to your fitness level. Enjoy guys, see you on the next one.